3 weeks after we lost Willie Johnson at Ia Drang, we landed in the Ia Drang Valley, and it was like stepping into hell. ESFX, Wendell, a call came over the radio. Broken arrow. I remember the words like they were etched into my soul. The lost platoon, the men who disappeared into the jungle, never to be found. Then came the dawn attack. The NVA came in waves, with bayonets and fire. We fought with everything we had. On night, the Battle of Ia Drang was the worst day. The NVA came in numbers, and we were pinned down. When the sun rose on November 17th, the Ia Drang Valley was silent. The NVA had withdrawn in the night, and in elephant grass lay 234 Americans who would never go home. ESFX. Bells' names are etched in history, their stories buried beneath the soil of war that no one really won. But we remember them. We remember Willie, Tommy, Hank, and the others who never made it back. ESFX. Silence. On turning to the oxidation on point. The final count, 234 Americans killed at Albany, 305 wounded. That number was buried in the archives for years, swept under the rug by the army itself. It wasn't until General Hal Moore fought to tell the real story that the truth came out. X-Ray was a celebrated battle, a symbol of American valor. But Albany, it was buried, forgotten, and left to rot in the mud. I remember the day the news came out. The names of the dead printed in the paper like they were just numbers. Joe Galloway, the journalist who stood with us in the jungle, he was the one who brought the truth to light. He didn't just report, he remembered. He gave voice to those who had no voice. And for that, I'll always be grateful. But the truth was bitter, and it lingered. The army had classified the details of Albany for years, and it took a man of Moore's courage to unbury it. 3 weeks after we lost Willie Johnson at Ia Drang, we landed in the Ia Drang Valley, and it was like stepping into hell. ISFX window van medium. Back in present day, the memories still come, names of the dead, the sound of helicopter rotors that still makes my hands shake, the smell of elephant grass that comes back in dreams. I see them every night. Willie the Will, with his sharp tongue and quick wit. Tommy T, praying before battle. Hank the Tank, his booming laugh echoing through the jungle. Frank the Brave, alive but bloody. I see their faces, the ones who made it and the ones who didn't. Not abstractions, not numbers. Names, faces, moments. I remember the way the jungle swallowed us whole, the way the fire rained down. I remember the silence after the explosions. I remember the sound of Willie's last words, the way he looked at me before he was gone. ISFX, window, one, medium. These are the things that never leave you. The faces, the names, the memories. They haunt you. They follow you. And they never let you go. Final reflection. Next stage. Window up to the down. These were real men. Their names are on panel 3 of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. If you ever stand at that wall, run your fingers across those names. They were 20 years old. They were scared, and they stood their ground. I was one of them. I saw them die. I lived through it. And I remember every one of them. Willie Johnson, killed in action. Tommy O'Connor, wounded but alive. Hank Lee, killed in action. Frank Morales, still with us. They were brothers in arms. They were more than numbers. They were sons, fathers, friends, and they gave their lives for something bigger than themselves. I remember the jungle. I remember the fire. I remember the silence. And I remember then. ESFX, bells on. Light, if you ever stand at that wall, remember then. Remember us. ESFX, silence. In for